Greetings, one and all, to another episode of Toys Life Gets Scared. And yes, and so today's review will be good old-fashioned rock and roll Craig McConnell. Now, I did have this one when I was a kid as well. If anything, he was sandbox fodder, where, he would dig himself partially in the sand and pop out and shoot people in the face. Because you know how important that is. So, once again, what can be said that hasn't already been said about these boxes? Artwork's really cool. I watched a interview with the artist where Hasbro basically told him he had to put the hand in like that, and that's why it's at some weird, awkward angle, but no one really notices. But with that said, he's got a lot to get through, so let's get him on out the box. Yes! Gonna get me out of the box. Yep, there he is. Rock and roll. So here he is now out of the box. I don't know, there was a technical difficulty. It said my mem card was full, but I have 2. And I know the other one isn't, so that was weird. Anyway, I was going to say that one of the interesting things about what I've seen online with some of these is that you usually can just twist the ropes that keep them in. But this time they were tied, like in a knot, so you couldn't. And it makes me wonder, if a different hub took care of these than the normal. And then when I looked to think about that, I checked the bottom of the box, and it is still 32528A, but we're in the 3000 series instead of 2. So I don't know. It's very interesting. That's something I'm going to look out for because you know how anal retentive I am. Now, switching to manual computer. Okay, now taking a look at him, pretty reasonable head sculpt here. Face paint app seems to be, on point. I'm okay with it. I've seen some that have had some missed shots here and there, but from what I can tell, this one looks really good. Very nice. Got a lot of, again, good details all the way around. Remember, he's one of the original 13, if I'm not mistaken. And interesting that they didn't paint him all green. And, of course, they made him a surfer dude and gave him all these really cool tats that he has. And koi fish, of course, skulls. Here we have more flamage and stuff on his arm, plus the skull on his hand. And the rubber bandolier is it is one piece, so it's not 2 strips. It's kind of glued in the center is my guess, and to keep it all one piece. He's got a belt with a canteen on it. Would have been cool if that canteen came off. Another useless pouch that does absolute jackrabbit slim, and his leg holster. I know his, it's got like a hole there you can put stuff in and a hole there to put stuff in. It gives you some options. He also has a rubber bandolier around his wrist. That can come off if you want. And he's got just a regular wristband. So they really went all out. But let's just make my little test. Can he T-pose? Yes, 0 issues. None whatsoever. Elbows are not that stiff, but that did make a crack. Wow, easy to move legs, super cool. That one, easy to move. Massive head movement, so he's going to be one expressive Joe, that's for sure. So far so good. A little loosey-goosey on his leg straps, but not too bad. Really well done. Happy with him. So let's have a look-see at his accessory. You get the his helmet. I'll have to pull out Roblox helmet at some point and see how they match up. Very interesting. Hang 10, little buddy. Hang 10. And it's interesting to me that they bother putting these little compartments there, that those are for like night vision goggle connectors or scope connectors, and yet we don't they don't seem to be made with any real way to make that adjustment someday. But overall, cool helmet. Let's put it on his face. Yep, fits with no problem. I can't see anything. All right, let's give it a bit of adjustment. There you go, bro. There you go. Now let's take a look at his big ass gun, man. Look at this. Look at his big old gun. Heavy machine gun. Now these I don't know, stands, they fan out. So they don't just, it's kind of a weird, and they move independently. They could give walking. So they do kind of get in the way, in my opinion. There is a hole for blast effects. I don't know if you could see it, but it's there. It's got various connectors in it, big old hole, because you have 3 options with this gun. One, you can load this big old long thing through it. It just feeds in like it's nobody's business. Simple as that. Or you get a teeny tiny belt feed, because you also have a ammo box, and you just feed it in. Now, yeah, those are spent. So they're rounds that are spent on one end, and that goes through the side, and it will connect via these little holes. They're kind of coated. Just put it in there and then put her in there. But I can't make it fit for some reason because I'm stupid. From the town of Stupid. There you go. Now you see that peg right there? That peg, that's what can go in his belt. So you can make it attached to his belt if you want. So you've got all these different options. You don't have to be stuck with like one thing. I might be stuck with that because I like it. But then you also have his radio. Now this radio looks an awful lot like the exact same model that Gridiron Studios makes. It's almost the same exact model and look. Thought that was interesting. And again, this radio, which I'm going to put right here on his side, just pegs in, or it doesn't, one of the two. Here, just give it some space there. Why not? There you have it. I have it pegged to his side. Although, it might make more sense to put it in the back, now that I think about it. Why not? Because again, options. So there. Now you can sit on his walkie-talkie and butt dial the commander. Probably why he's making fun of him. Just kidding. So then you have a firearm. Standard little sidearm pistol here. That will go in his holster. As a whole, wait, no, it does not. Say it's got a hole for blast effects, but it really kind of doesn't. So if I can get that in, see, it's kind of closed off on mine. Maybe somebody else's, maybe they just didn't get it poured in enough. Oh well, not the end of the world. Still cool to have a firearm nonetheless that slides down his leg. Crazy sauce. Now, he does come with his rock and roll devil thing here with the thing. And that's important if you're going to try to do the photography and try to get the skull face. Poking his own eyes out. Try to get that all up in his face there. That'll be interesting photography to try to do. And then he gets, fist. So there you have it. That is the old rock and rollio. So, photos. Maybe. We'll see.